Alright, so they've decided to open up the dev server once again for a day. I guess they wanted to test a couple final things before releasing the update on the main server. Now, one of the things they have decided to change, or I guess add on, is the T58. Now, before, this thing I think was at battle rating 8.0, and it only had access to HESH and HEAT. They've since changed that and how it has access to an APHE shell, which you can see right here. Now, this is the same shell you find on the T30, same penetration and everything. You know, it has 640 grams of TNT, so you're definitely going to overpressure every tank you'll face. Just its penetration isn't exactly, you know, as great as you might expect. For 155, you know, only, oh, I said only, but yeah, only 199 millimeters. If you compare that with something like the AMX 50 sur BC here, which has access to, yeah, 301 millimeters, you know, it isn't, yeah, it's a bit worse. For that, you do get an overpressure shell, and usually with those shells, most of the time, or sometimes, you don't really have to pen the enemy to actually kill them, so I guess that is a bonus. And of course, this thing also has a shorter reload now. It only takes 2.6 seconds to reload, which is extremely short. You still do have the problem that you do have only a ready rack of like 6 rounds. So after you fire 7 rounds, you kind of just have to sit there and reload for like 15 seconds. Not exactly ideal, but yeah, we'll see how this plays out on the live server. Alright, for my next not-so-demonstrative game here, I'm going to take the T58 here against them, but I just noticed the left marker's on. Should have probably not done that, but it doesn't really matter, because in the end, this thing's only going to be only really a demo game, I guess. There we go, we just penned that angle on the IS-3 there, which is always really nice. And as you can see, because this thing has a really short reload, can actually engage a lot of targets in really quick succession. Reverse gear isn't exactly so ideal, but I guess it isn't like giga terrible, and it's like still somewhat manageable. Ooh, that shell didn't pen there. Let's see if I can even pen this angle. It's a bit weird. This guy, can I 50 cal him? Yes I can, and that guy's gone now. And just like that, take this guy out. The problem is now, after I run out of all these shells here, I'm going to have to reload my ready rack, and that takes quite a while. I think it takes roughly 15 seconds if you kind of time it correctly, which means that you do have to wait a bit here for it to actually complete. In the meantime, you kind of just have to hide yourself, hope that nobody really sees you. This guy did see me, but yeah, it's just body's clueless. I mean, oh, that was close. Tried to trick shot me there. Yeah, this is one of the real big, I guess, downsides of this tank in comparison to something like the AMX 50 sur BC, where I think, wow, he actually got my breach. The AMX 50 sur BC, where you have, you know, 20 rounds or 21 rounds in the ready rack, and you can kind of just keep firing without ever running out. Even if you do have a longer reload, it kind of is just better in the long run. I guess this is another reason why I don't really, or why I prefer tanks with bigger ready racks, like the Type 90 over the Type 10 and stuff like that, because they're just more comfortable to use, yeah, in the long term. But anyway, that took quite a long time now. Because we've lost the Kurember, it also takes a longer time to replenish this ready rack here. I guess the one good thing though, oh, I was about to say one good thing is this thing has overpressure, but I hit the car so I couldn't demonstrate. Okay. Didn't know the APHE triggered on the car though. I thought it would just go straight through. I guess that's not the case. But as you can see, even if I only shoot the engine, it still overpressures the rest of the tank. So it's really nice to see. But once again, I've run out of ammunition now, so I'm gonna have to just run away. Now, one way you can play this vehicle is maybe on capture zones, where you can reload your ready rack kind of twice, with the capture zone reload and with the normal ready rack reload. So you can kind of have them going both at once, which might just alleviate the situation of you running out of ammunition. The problem is you can't really move. You're kind of stuck where you are. So that's not exactly ideal. I guess you can just kind of reload ammo on the cap, go get some people, return back to the cap. But you might miss the spawn push playing like that. So that's another drawback just to take into account. But to be able to reload APHE in something like 2.5 seconds is still extremely strong. I mean, we're just going to demonstrate this against these group of bots here. Oh, wow, that was actually a terrible shot. Am I really that bad at aiming? I guess I just have to actually properly aim at the side there. I think I'm just used to this gun having a lot of penetration, and in reality it maybe doesn't have as much as you'd think, because I think the T58 shell, or whatever it's called, is more of a bunker busting shell, and it's not really meant for penetration. Maybe I'll compare the shells on the T30 if I remember here on screen, and I'm going to compare with the shell that this thing has. But I think this thing is the one with less penetration. Alright, now as for mobility, this tank's actually pretty decent. Top speed isn't too high, but it does reach it pretty quickly. As you can see right now, I'm just kind of cruising at 35 kilometers an hour. Sadly, I can't really go any faster, but, you know, it's not too bad, and it accelerates really quickly, so that's what's most important. This thing's probably going to be used more like a medium tank than heavy, just because it doesn't really have the armor to be a heavy at this BR. You know, you'll be facing a lot of stabilizers, you'll be facing a lot of L7s with HEAT and APHE. You know, it's not really going to be a tank that you'll be relying on armor. Instead, you'll just be more relying on the reload and the fact that you have really good APHE. Now, unfortunately, with the battle that I selected here, the match that I selected, there aren't really too many enemies to demonstrate this on. Now, there is a little T54 here. We're going to shoot him through the cupola, because I don't really think I can pen him anywhere else. I guess through the turret, that would have also been possible. Maybe I'll test that on the next one, I'll see. I do see a lot here on the map, but I don't really know exactly where they all are. That was a very suspicious shot there. Almost didn't get that. Maybe I'll try and find another T54 and try and see if I can kill him from the front without going through his cupola. Wow. Alright, so I guess one nice thing that this tank does get access to is a rangefinder, so it ranges really quickly and really accurately. The muzzle velocity of this gun is quite slow. You do have to lead quite a bit when using it, but it's manageable, and just that you kind of get nice long-range kills. Whoa. Okay, I didn't quite expect that non-pen there. But, you know, I guess I kind of just shot the wrong angle or something. And, you know, if you ever do get into a situation like this where you can flank a lot of enemies at once, you definitely do have yeah, a field day in this thing. Now, let's actually maybe try a frontal engagement here. Or just first annihilate this guy right here. And this guy right here. I mean, then again, you know, these are all bots and stuff like that, so this all really isn't too representative, but, you know, this is what is theoretically possible with this tank. Now, I don't think I can go through the front plate of a Panther. Nope. But, you know, the turret is, of course, no problem. And you know, I think I'm actually really looking forward to this tank now. Alright, well, that does it for this little information video here. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. I'm actually looking forward to the next update now, just a bit more. Admittedly, before I was kind of thinking that the update was pretty boring. but this little change here did make it just a bit better. Anyway, hopefully next update will actually be on the live server, and I'll see you guys then. Bye bye.